We found the greatest subreddit of all time. Not really. It's vomit-inducing. It is called CisParent. Cis means normal, because the trans community has tried to label to normal people as cisgendered to gaslight us into thinking we're part of their game. We're not. CisParentTransKid. It's the subreddit. And this is littered with content for this show. It's like they all wanted to be on That's Based with Caleb Salvatore. So we'll go down the list. We'll read some of the entries from CisParentTransKid. This is the first one I saw. Seeking advice. Oh, no, sorry. That wasn't the first one I found. Where was it? Here it is. I am a parent of 2 trans kids in Texas, and I am terrified. Ages 13 and 15. I have a trans boy and a trans girl, respectfully. I cannot leave the state. Our finances are too tight to even consider it. I'm in a blue county, but beyond that, it looks grim. They both have expressed a desire for hormone treatment, but now it looks like they may never get that option until they are adults. The horror! You don't see it, Mia. This is genocide. Her 13-year-old can't go on hormones. This is genocide. Oh, my God. And at the rate the things are going in this state, maybe not even then. Yep, never. Not even when they're an adult. So here's the thing, man. Transgender people make up a fraction of a percent of the people in this country. I'm going to ask you guys a question in the audience. Let me know in the comments on Rumble. Let me know in the comments what you think. What's more likely? That this person happened to produce 2 of those people that make up less than a fraction of a percentage of the people in this country, or that they're a child-abusing groomer who's using their children to advance their political agenda. Let me know in the comments what you think. 50-50, I don't know. Could go either way. Actually, it's not 50-50. It's more like 99.987.013. Next up, it gets better. This subreddit is from the pits of hell. Who can be shirtless and who can't? A conversation with my non-binary 6-year-old. Well, it's getting hot out. Summer is here. As such, my family likes to spend time outside around our house, public parks, hiking trails, and off the beaten path watering holes. My partner, 43M, and I, 34M. I wonder if they're actually gay or if one's like a woman and identifies as a male, but they're actually just straight. Run hot and prefer to take off our shows when outside rather than sweat through them, when appropriate for the setting. Our 6-year-old non-binary superstar made a "your shirts are off" comment at us the other day when we were all working out at a track. They looked hot, and also observant that ours were off and theirs wasn't. So we told them that we were hot and took them off, and if they felt comfortable, they could too. I'm assuming, quote unquote, they is a girl, because you wouldn't even be having this conversation if it were a son. So yeah, okay. If they didn't, we could tie their shirt in a knot so their tummy could air out. They opted for the second. We told them we were okay if they wanted to go shirtless as well. I got news for you. The law isn't. Okay, the law is not. You will be jailed. You'll be jailed, as you should be. Which broke out into this 3-minute tangent about public versus private, and in private settings it was okay if they felt safe/comfortable. No, I'm sorry. Even in private, your daughter shouldn't be walking around at home with her tits out. Don't care what the age is. Not appropriate. If she's not in a diaper, not appropriate. My partner mentioned that at mom and stepdad's house, so someone was straight at one point. Someone was straight in this story at one point. They may have other rules. They're more conservative. Our child is called she, her at the other house. They're more conservative. You know, they believe in things like not letting 6-year-old girls flash strangers in public. Basically Nazis, okay? Basically reactionary 1980s conservative Christian moms. I couldn't tell the difference. Or that mom may not be comfortable with it. which when I read that, I realized how that sounds, but I want to include it for context and transparency. So the next day, me and Kid are playing outside and the same conversation comes up. This time, they ask why moms and girls wear shirts, so I mention women have breasts, and in most of our culture, women wear something over the breast, just like how everyone wears something over the bottom. So, how do we talk to our young little human about this? I know I'm probably making this complicated. You are. You are making this complicated. But as a two-dad household, we're aware there is some extra research we got to do around talking to our kid about the female body, if they have questions. I just want to honor that they're non-binary, and I feel that it sucks we have to uphold this binary sex etiquette at the same time. I feel that it sucks that I can't let my 6-year-old girl flash people in public. That's the meat and potatoes of that unhinged retard rant I just read you. Got better ones. Let's see here.
Okay, even if this child identifies as non-binary,
it's a girl.
Yeah, girl. So she has female body parts. It doesn't matter what her gender,
right. It
what
literally
she says,
matter.
what she says her gender is, or what her parents say her gender is.
The law doesn't care.
Yeah, no. She still has those female body parts. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
How about this? Stop saying non-binary and transgender 6-year-olds and start saying child abuse victims. It's the same thing as the vegan dog. We know who's making the decision.
Because the children have no idea. It's the dads that are doing
the children has no the moms, the dads, well, in that case the dads, yeah. The children have no idea what's going on. The parents are making that decision for them. Yes, you are overcomplicating things. The answer should just be, no, sweetie, you're a girl, you can't take your shirt off in public. Go to a feminist march in 15 years if you got a problem with it. You can iron things out there. Right now, no. All right, next one. Telling organized sports activities my 5-year-old's gender. Hello, I am wondering if I could get some guidance as to what others have done regarding gender when registering their young children for organized activities such as dance. My daughter is 5 and we're signing her up for dance. What do you do when you need to fill out the gender on the forms? You put male because your quote-unquote daughter is your son. You are a sick freak that's taking advantage of an awkward kid to push your political agenda, to earn virtue signaling points with your group of online pedophile friends. That's all you are. And don't really know how much information the teachers and coaches should be given. She will have to wear uniform for the class, and of course we want her to be able to wear what other girls are wearing. Now, on the flip side, if it was like a boy identifying as a girl, could you see Baby Gronk's dad doing that? Putting his son, having another son, and transitioning him to be a girl, raising him as a girl, but still building him up to be a dominant athlete, so he can just average like 45 points a game in basketball. Baby Gronk's dad would totally do that. That would be the ultimate sports dad thing. All right, here we go. 5-year-old son prefers girls' toys. Sometimes wears a skirt. He got teased at the pool for playing with the Barbie. His twin brother. I just want to say, I am so grateful that this is a thing now, because there are a lot of kids I know that were boys that were maybe just a little feminine, and vice versa, girls that maybe just a little bit of tomboys, right? That would have. Who knows what would have happened to him today? I mean, seriously, now that it's acceptable that politically motivated parents who have no business being around children would see their son playing with the Barbie and even think, is he actually a girl? No, you stupid ass. He's a boy that's a little feminine. Who cares? Now, we played with Barbies when we were kids too, but we'd strap bottle rockets to them and stuff. It was fun. They're probably worth like hundreds of dollars now, so joke's on me. His twin brother usually supports him and sticks up for him. He recently got slightly teased at the pool for the Barbie, and it opened up a can of worms with my extended family that basically I created this narrative with him by purchasing him the Barbies and skirts in the first place. Okay, no, you shouldn't have bought your kid a skirt. That's where I draw the line. Your 5-year-old son should not be wearing a skirt. If your 5-year-old son wants to wear a skirt, you know what you say? No, sweetie, boys don't wear skirts unless they're Mel Gibson and Braveheart. Boys don't wear skirts. And you leave it at that, and the 5-year-old will go, oh, okay. That's it. I wanted to do stupid stuff when I was 5'2". My parents didn't just go along with it. They corrected me on it. There is feminine clothing. There is masculine clothing. Boys don't wear skirts. You want to play with a Barbie? Go. Who gives a crap? Go ahead and play with a Barbie. I don't care. You don't wear a skirt, though. You are not a girl. You don't wear a skirt for the same reason that the non-binary 6-year-old girl has to put a shirt on when it's hot outside. Sorry. That's how it works. That's just how it goes. You want to express yourself when you're 18 and you still feel that way and put a skirt on? Knock yourself out. Go ahead. But you're 5. Boys don't wear skirts. End of discussion. And if your 5-year-old's going to argue with you further, you've got a demon. He's possessed by a demon, because that's not something a 5-year-old's going to think. So if there's something like fundamentally spiritually wrong there, or you're a horrible parent. One of the two. If you're having arguments with your 5-year-old that don't just end in "I'm the parent," discussion over. He is not gay, not trans. He's just 5 and sometimes likes to spice it up with a skirt and likes looking pretty. He may not be gay yet, but give it a couple years, honey. He likes to spice it up and look pretty. I have a giant family group text, basically, where I am saying I won't make him confirm and I won't put other people's feelings in front of his. Basically, they think the risk of being bullied in school outweighs the risk of suppressing or closeting him now. Well, again, if he wants to play with Barbies, I don't think that's near as big of a deal as like an actual... This was actually the most sane person on this forum that I found. Next up. 4-year-old, possibly trans or non-binary, discouraging meeting with a child psychologist. Hi, everyone. One of my amazing 4.5-year-old twins, both assigned male at birth, has shown an affinity for the stereotypically feminine for years now. For years? He's been alive for 4 years. So what do you mean for years now? But over the last 6 months has consistently stated the desire to be a girl and to be referred to as sister and girl. We have affirmed this and always encouraged. Of course you've encouraged it. That goes without saying. As young as 2 years old, he showed interest in traditionally feminine clothes and toys, and that has continued and increased. We made it clear that girls and boys and everyone in between can like and dress however they want. Seems to have a desire to present ultra-feminine. Shirts and leggings with typically feminine colors or prints aren't enough anymore. Just to make sure we're doing the best for our kids and to get some guidance with navigating things, we had an appointment this week with a child psychologist for the first time. The doctor did affirm that we're doing the right thing by supporting the interests in gender presentation at home. All right, so this guy should lose his medical license, is what you're saying. But was surprised we allow him to dress feminine at school as well, and said that we should be focusing on preparing him for the bullying that may come if he continues. Oh, wow, a rational take. Oh. If he continues to dress that way at school. The doctor also dismissed any need to change pronouns, which is something we've been trying to decide on. D has, it's the initial they're using for the kid, hasn't expressed a care for any pronoun in particular, because you haven't coached him on that one yet. You'll get to that. But is very clear on the desire to be a sister/girl and to dress and present as such. So yeah, let's confuse the kid even more. I mean, because look, if you're gonna let your 4-year-old son present as a girl, at least tell him, hey, girls are she, girls are her. But no, you're going to confuse him even more. Yeah, you can be a girl, and we'll call you a girl and sister and our daughter, but you can also say you're a boy. Let's just blow the kid's brain up, right? Let's just nuke his whole brain at 4 years old. All of these kids in this forum have one thing in common, and it's that they stand no chance because they have bad parents. That's all there is to it. Our feeling was that maybe as the entire public school for kindergarten next year, it may be better for him to go by she or her as he presents as a girl and identifies that way. The doctor said he was too young to worry about any pronoun changes or being trans or non-binary, and that we should just nonchalantly allow whatever they want to be for now, not encouraging or discouraging. After the appointment with this doctor, I am very unsettled. I have felt that though he's very young, and things certainly may change down the line, not if you have any say in it though, right? D has a very strong sense of self-awareness. There is no 4-year-old that has a strong sense of anything other than they want dinosaur chicken nuggets. There's no 4-year-old in the world that has a strong sense about anything, you groomer, pedophile moron. Alleged pedophile.
I guarantee you that 4-year-old does not give a shit whether they're called
Doesn't
sister,
care.
brother.
No, the mom is encouraging
Yeah,
it.
they don't
So,
care.
To summarize this one, you went to the psychologist. You've heard things online. That the psychiatrist is just going to affirm everything you've been saying and tell you what a great, tolerant, inclusive job you've done as parents. And that's not what happened, and now you're mad. So they didn't agree with you. They didn't give you the answer you wanted, so they have to be wrong. Gets better. This is the last post we're reading from CisParentTransKid. Is your blood boiling yet? Seeking advice on being a good parent to my transgender 3-year-old. All right, I'm going to tell you right now, there is no advice I can give you on being a good parent to your transgender 3-year-old, because the fact that you just said you have a transgender 3-year-old literally makes it impossible for you to be a good parent. Also, you're probably not going to find good parenting advice in the group called CisParentTransKid. It's probably just not there, because there's no... Again, all of the parents in that group have one thing in common. They are not good parents. Now, you're probably sitting there, you're like, Caleb, you don't have any kids. How can you sit there from this ivory tower and those who live in glass houses shouldn't cast stones, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to tell you right now, my kids won't do this. My kids won't do this because I won't encourage them to do it. If they want to be trans when they're 18 years old, if they're part of the 0.002% of the population, then so be it. But I'm not going to... This is coached. There's a reason these people all have these kids doing this so young, because they're coaching them on it. They are 100% grooming and coaching them on it. There's no way around that. So here we go. My 3-year-old has been insistent for 6 months. So for a fifth of their life, literally a fifth of the kid's life, 6 months. A sixth of the kid's life. Sorry, math. It's late. It's after midnight. That they're a girl, and gets very angry if people mistake them for a boy. On the other hand, apart from liking pink and hair clips, they prefer traditionally boy-coded clothing and activities, which means that people assume they're a boy quite a lot. They usually use he/him pronouns when referring to themselves in the third person, when telling stories about themselves. While they are generally verbally fluent for their age, I'm not sure if pronouns make much sense to them. Of course they don't. They're 3.
Is this 3-year-old buying their own clothes and their own hair clips?
Yeah, the kid's not. No. The kid
and dressing themselves?
When I was 3, I didn't care what my mom bought me. I just wore whatever. You know what I mean? When I was 4, when I was 5, I wore whatever. You don't think about that. So maybe girls are different. But at that young, they can't be. No. You don't think about it. You wear whatever the mom buys you. The kid doesn't say, oh, I want to wear a skirt. I want to wear a dress even though I'm a boy. No. The mom brings it home because the mom's a grooming piece of shit. They're usually correct when referring to other people. They also use he, him when telling stories about an imaginary sister. It's because they're confused because they have a horrible parent. They won't just tell them boys are he, girls are she. My child is an only child who developed a lot of imaginary friends. Yeah, I bet. I would have a lot of imaginary friends too if I was locked in a freaking house during COVID with a piece of shit like you. I would have a lot of imaginary... You know, and if the imaginary friends told me to go stab you in your sleep with a butcher's knife, then so be it. They might have told me to do that. They tend to retell stories like the 3 little pigs, as one pig was a sister, one was a brother, and one was both. And very occasionally, they say they might be both too. Basically, while my child seems very sure that they are not a boy, and usually say they are a girl, I'm not sure how much they understand what gender means. They're 3! Of course they don't understand what gender means. They really don't like talking about it. Yeah, because it makes them uncomfortable that they got a psychopath for a mom. Seriously, I wish I could go back and tell 14, and I joke about this in my stand-up, so she's not going to care. I wish I could go back and tell 14-year-old and show some of these posts to 14-year-old Caleb, and he would be so thankful to have an alcoholic for a mom. He would be like, wait, that's it? Because if you go to these kids when they're like 14, 15, 16, 10 years from now, and you tell them, yeah, my mom was an alcoholic, they're going to be like, that's it? Really, that's it? She just drank too much? Like, I wish my mom would drink so she'd leave me the hell alone. Like, maybe she'd get too drunk to drive to the store to buy me new dresses. You know what I mean? Maybe they'd like, yeah. So here we go. Let's see. They don't like talking about it, which is unusual for them because they get upset if strangers think they're a boy. I try and keep a hair clip on their hair to ward off upsets, but they won't wear skirts or ruffles or girl-coded clothes, although they like to wear unisex. You're overthinking this. Buy the kid the clothes. There is no 3-year-old in the world, No 3-year-old on this planet that cares. You're overthinking it. So in everything else, the only way they care is if the parents have told them they need to care. That's all there is to it. So in everything else, they prefer to wear people are likely to assume boy. We did get them a skirt as they liked the pattern, but they wouldn't wear it once they realized it wasn't shorts. Also, they think having too long a top on that looks like a dress is hilarious, but they didn't want to wear it. I try and keep everything as gender neutral as possible to allow them greater choice. I always refer to them and other children as children rather than boy or girl, as I once used to, in hope that this is less limiting to their gender expression. In other words, I am confused about how to support my child, partly because they're so young that gender is not yet trapped by stereotypes. What's up?
So by this parent not referring to other children as any gender, they're just confusing this child even more. Because
That's
they're
what
not
these people
having
do.
a conversation
They
with
gaslight
them
and
about
confuse.
gender.
They gaslight, they confuse, they go in circles because they know at the end of the day their ideas can't hold up to basic questions. So they just go, they circle the wagons, they gaslight people, and they have to start at a young age because that's the only hope this nonsense has of surviving the next generation. This has gone on long enough. I don't think it's transient. Your kid's been alive for 3 years. What do you mean it's gone on long enough? It's gone on for 6 months? It's gone on for 6 months. Chop his dick off. It has to be done. But my child is too young and too non-conforming to be any traditional gender presentation to do the normal things people recommend. Has anyone got advice on how to support gender identity issues with a very young child? I have the perfect advice for you. I'm glad you asked. Now, you're going to have to pay attention because it's a multi-step plan, okay? Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pull out your phone, okay? You probably already got it because you're on this Reddit thing, and the people that transition their kids are perpetually online anyway, so you've already got step 1 down. Next thing you're going to do, you're going to download this app called Uber, okay? You're going to download this app called Uber. Once you get your Uber downloaded, you're gonna put your email address, your name, your address, and all that stuff into it. You're gonna share your location with it. You're gonna give it your credit card information. Now you probably have shitty credit. I'm just gonna go out and say that you probably got bad credit. That's okay. Debit card, whatever will work. You're gonna give it your credit card information. You are going to call yourself an Uber. You're gonna hire one on the app. You're gonna tell them to come pick you up. And then it's going to ask you where you want it to take you, right? So this is the tough part. This is the part you got to pay attention to. This is the most important, second most important part of this whole process. Of the whole process on how to support the gender identity issues of your transgender 3-year-old, okay? You can't take the kid in the car with you. You got to leave the kid at home, call grandma, tell him you're going to go for a ride for a little bit, okay? So you're going to get in the car. You're going to set the ride. You're going to set your destination. Okay, you're going to set your destination to a Home Depot. Car's going to show up about 10, 15 minutes. You'll probably drive around the wrong place, and it's all frustrating because it's Uber. You're going to get in the car. You're going to go to the Home Depot, all right? You're going to go to the Home Depot, and you're going to rent a wood chipper. You're going to take that wood chipper, and you're going to throw yourself into it. And that is how you support the gender identity issues of your transgender 3-year-old. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to click the link in the description to get the full episode on Rumble. If you prefer to listen along, you could actually get us on Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. You can also go to www.outlawstreamers.com to learn more about not just my show, but tons of other great shows and all the exciting projects they have coming up. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, at Caleb Salvatore Comedy on the Chinese Spy app that is TikTok, and be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks, and we'll see you every Saturday for brand new episodes of That's Based. Peace.